Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome back to part 2 of our TikTok video. We're interviewing Brittany Wang today as we're going to talk about how to make the very specific details on how to make an awesome trending TikTok video. So let's see.
We're going to get into it. So I'll take over for a second. So in this topic, we're going to kind of go over on how you guys can actually create these videos, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty details about how to now move forward. Now we've kind of convinced you I should be on TikTok. Let us show you how to actually now move forward with that. So let's pull up our thing here. So basically, the best thing about TikTok, and I know we already talked about this, is the videos can be used across all social media stuff. So with your TikTok reel, you can use it on Instagram Reels, and then you can also use it. I've had good luck with it on Twitter. I actually get a decent amount of views and engagement from it. And you can use it on YouTube Shorts. So if you do have a YouTube channel, you can use it on YouTube Shorts. And me and Brooke have gotten actually way more views and subscribers from our shorts. So that's what's nice, is it's really like if you're trying to decide, like, I want to be on social media as an author, like TikTok videos are the way to go because it can go to everything and you can make it your own. So let's see here. Brittany, what is kind of your overall take as far as what you suggest starting off with?
With creating videos. I think the first thing, because we have a bunch of notes, you guys, we have so much we want to share with you guys, plus a free downloadable. If you didn't hear it in the first video, that over on my channel, we have a downloadable linked for you guys with like a bunch of this stuff that we're sharing. But the first thing that I would say is to have fun. Like, I know it's super simple, but I just wanted to get it out there. And we said it very briefly at the end of the last video, but like, if you're not having fun in your videos, like other people will be able to tell. And TikTok, there's definitely like those videos that like people love that like make them cry and like, are a lot like deeper, but there's like a lot of people that go on there to be entertained and to have fun and to connect with people who are having fun. So, as you're like going to film, just like have that mindset, like play some like music that gets you excited or like, loose or whatever before you start filming. Smile and just have a lot of fun with filming the videos. And I think that and showing your true self will come through and be really effective in the videos. So I know it's not like a strategy tip, but I just want to get that out there because we can often get to a place where we're like, oh, I'm gonna be on camera and like, ooh, and people can tell that if you're not just loose in yourself. So practicing that is good.
I know a lot of the videos that I create, I show them to my husband and I'm like, how embarrassing on a scale of 1 to 10 is this?
Well, and it's also maybe too, like as you're starting, like be okay with like embarrassing yourself or being okay with like feeling a little awkward at first, because the more you do it, right, the more you'll be comfortable. So
yeah, you really don't even have to talk on the video if you don't want to. You could do text over, you do a video of yourself typing. There's lots of different things that you can try. And we actually, in our downloadable, which is linked in the comments, there's a lot of different ideas for things that you can do, and they're super valuable. So I definitely recommend reading through that.
Definitely.
Lots of tips.
I think the biggest thing too that we have, we were thinking about like tips and stuff, is like finding trends and trending songs. So like, how have you guys used like trends or found them, or like what's been most helpful for that?
Yeah. So when I very first started, I created a lot of, I would just find audios that I thought were really cool and use those. And I would, do audios of myself talking, and those were great. But I found more success when I was using trending audios. And there was a number of ways to find trending audios. Karlie has an app that I'm sure she'll talk about. I found some, so on Instagram, if you look at the bottom left corner where it shows the song, if there's like a little arrow to the left of it, that means it's a trending song. And typically on Instagram, if it's trending on Instagram, it's trending on TikTok as well. And then there are a lot of accounts that you can follow, which is also in our downloadable file, that they'll talk about a lot of the trend, like this song is trending right now, use this and here's how you can use it. And I found that to be really helpful as well. I'll let you talk about your app because it's really cool.
Yes, yeah, I was just gonna show this too. Rihanna was saying that she was worried about being on video because she hated it, and then so she started with the putting the finger down and just like the lip syncing ones, and now she's all about the video. And that's kind of how I was too. Is like
Mhm.
before I did talking, I would do just kind of the trends, like what everyone's doing, because then I'm like, I won't feel as nerdy or dorky because everyone's doing it, right? And then once you do it a few times, I don't know, you get like a different confidence about it. You get some flair, and you're like, I can do this. I can make it happen. So once you like get used to it and get over that first initial, I don't know, that embarrassment, and like my family gave me so much crap at it about it, but after I got over that, it was good. But so with trending sounds, okay, so it's called Trend at or Trend Talk. It was $20. I think they raised it to $30 a year. And what it is basically it has all the global trending sounds and like the top trending sounds, and then it has like your personal algorithm. So you'll answer some questions when you get the app, and like if you're into writing or books, whatever. So it has like a personalized algorithm for you to follow for all the trending sounds in your niche. And then they also have like the book on there too. So there's the whole book talk on there. And so it's every single trending sound that's right then in that moment for the book talk niche. Why that's helpful for me is because there's like, I think like 20 plus sounds that I can just like go down the line and I can like listen to it. And I'm like, can I make something from that? Nope. Okay. Can I make something from that? Yes. Okay. Can I make something from that? Yes. And so I don't have to like do a ton of scrolling to find it. It's like right there for me. But if you want something free, then obviously there's ways that you can scroll too. I think Brittany, is that how you usually find your trending sounds, is scrolling?
Yeah, I've had tried a bunch of different things. Some of them I think Brooke was saying too. But yeah, I'll scroll through like my For You page for like 10-15 minutes, as like a study, and like if I see multiple sounds coming up over and over, I'll go and like save the sound like Brooke did, or even I'll just save the video, because sometimes if I just save the sound, I'll be like, shoot, like I was really inspired by the video that I saw that did it with this sound, but now I can't think of what I wanted to do it with. So I'll just save the video to like your favorites. And I don't know if everybody has this feature yet, but I just noticed that TikTok now you can save a video to your favorites, but then also put it in a collection, kind of like you can save things to collections on Instagram. So now I have different folders, collection folders, where it's like these videos inspired me, or these videos had great sounds, or these videos like are trending, right now, or whatever. And so I can actually separate them, even from like if I have a couple of like videos that I'm like, I just like this video. It's not even inspiration, but I don't want to like lose it. I can just put it in a separate folder. And then when I go to create, I can go through all of those videos and be like, okay, how can I, kind of use this sound or play off of this idea that I saw someone use. Also on the Discover page, if you go on the Discover page on TikTok, there they feature some trending sounds and hashtags on there. Or if you even go to create a TikTok and you go to add a sound, at the top, you can look under different categories. Like there's one category called TikTok viral, and so it'll actually tell you like a lot of people are using this sound. And if anybody's lost of like why should I use trending sounds, they basically act like a search or a collection of all these videos that are using that sound. So if somebody likes a video or engages on a video that has a certain trending sound and you use that same sound, then it's that much more likely that your video will show up for them, even if they're not following you. So it kind of creates this kind of domino effect of like, okay, all I had to do was like use that sound. And as long as it's a good video, people will see it and engage with it. So I think,
I will say too, just one thing before I forget. So the thing that's sometimes the sounds are like if you take a trending sound on TikTok, right, and you save the TikTok video, it already has the music playing behind it. When you go to add that to Instagram, it'll just show up as your original audio, which is then you don't get the benefit of using that trending sound. And so what I will do is I will then go search the trending sound in Instagram, and I'll turn down the original volume or the original audio, turn up the camera audio so it uses the trending sound. So then you get both. Can't do that with every single one, but on the ones that I can, I'll try to do that because it's you want to work with the algorithm when you can. So when you can use trending sounds or songs, then yeah, that algorithm is just going to give you that extra boost.
yeah, totally. And with that too, so we talked a little bit about how to like use both or one video for both Instagram and TikTok, and like kind of double your progress on the video one. So there's like a couple of tips on there. So there's that one. And then I was also going to say with finding audio on Instagram, sometimes like I'll spend the 15 minutes on TikTok and then I'll spend the 15 minutes on Instagram and save a bunch of stuff. And if I see one that's on both, then I'm like, oh, like I'm definitely gonna like save those and like bookmark it to like do it. But it just takes a little extra time to find them. But then also if you want to talk in a video and not necessarily do a trend, you can still use a trending sound in the background of your video. You just turn the volume down so that it's like light in the background of your video, and then you can talk over it. So you're still showing up in that trending sounds kind of library, but you get to say whatever you would like to say on top of it. Makes sense. Or if you want to do like a vlog or something like that, that can be really helpful.
And something I will add, I've heard rumors circulating that TikTok and Instagram are trying to move away from too many trending sounds, so that people are creating their own original sounds, and then everyone's not just lip singing, because people get tired of that eventually. So I would test it and just see what audios do best for you, if trending audios do best for you, or doing original sound, or a mix of both, and just see, like, watch how many views you get and how many followers you get, and see what the best option is for you.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about trending sounds, and then we started thinking about video length, right? Because that's also like a big thing. Did you guys want to know that you guys had like specific statistics about that?
Yes, yeah, I've done a lot of research into this because for some reason it definitely affects your views. So they say like your 7 to 10 seconds are going to do best just because they get a full watch time. So if you get a full watch time video, then the algorithm's just going to pump it out that much harder. But so if you have like if you have 15-second video or less, then people need to watch 100% of it for the algorithm to consider it successful. So you want to make sure that you're having an engaging video that full 15 seconds. Now, if it's 16 to 30 seconds, then the watch time needs to be 75% for it to be considered a success. And then if it's 31 seconds to 60 seconds, it's a 50% watch time. And so they're used to people not watching the whole 1 minute video, but they need to at least watch half. Otherwise, the algorithm will start docking you points and not push it out as harder. So that, I mean, obviously, if you're making a 60-second video, you want to make the whole thing engaging. But what you really want to make sure that for sure, at least those first 30 seconds are like, no one's going to leave. So in order for it to be considered.
And that's where a hook becomes important, making sure you're saying something at the very beginning, the first 3 seconds, that are going to pull them through the rest of the video. So some key phrases you can use is, I'm going to tell you exactly how now, or the last part will shock you, or don't worry, only 5% of people will watch to the end, or you'll see why in 2 seconds, or listen up. This is important, something like that. You'll actually, if you go through TikTok and follow some TikTokers, you'll find that a lot of people use those phrases, and
strategy.
Yeah, you'll see it a lot.
And I've tested it and it works. Like if I I do a lot of writing tips. So I'm like, I'm going to share this on world building, listen up. But like, this is why it's important. Like for some reason, when people hear that, they're like, oh, I need to, they do. So it helps.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't played too much around with those. So I'm like looking at them in the notes. So I'm like, I gotta try that. So then we've got, things we can say that can really like grab people. And then obviously we can put text on the screen, which is great, especially if you don't want to say anything. So I know one thing that I realized as I started putting videos out there is that when you put text on the screen, it's really good to make sure that you're putting it in the upper 2/3 and over to the left, because while you're filming your video, you might not have this in your brain, but once you go to post it, there's going to be these icons on the right hand side and then your description at the bottom. So whatever text you end up choosing to put on there, just make sure that you put it in those upper 2/3 and on the left, so that those icons and stuff doesn't cut off the wonderful text that you just worked so hard to put on your video. So that was just something I wanted to make sure we had in there.
Oh, and then one other thing, like, at the very end of your video, be like, hey, follow for more writing tips, follow for more book recommendations, follow for, book humor, whatever it is that you're posting about.
Yeah. Right, because then they know, like, it's like, because you can get into this like scroll mentality where like people are just scrolling and maybe they like it, maybe they comment on it, but they don't follow. So it's like giving that call to action, right? That's like super
Yeah.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Um,
And we,
we had a note here. I don't know which one of you put it in, but something about using a lot of text is good because it
yes,
will.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So you'll see, Brooke was mentioning it earlier. So this is, a lot of people use this technique on TikTok. So it's not like a huge secret, but doing a 5 to 7 second video of you just, I either on the computer, I'm reading a book or whatever. And then I have a lot of text on the screen and I want that text to take at least like 20 seconds ish for people to read. Then that way, if my video is only 5 seconds, it takes them 20 seconds to read. Well, they're watching it, 5 times, right? It's not 4 times, 4 times. So then it's on a loop. And so the algorithm's like, oh, this video, we gotta pump it out. People are loving it. So it's like it's a strategy that you can use to kind of cheat the algorithm. And if you go on my TikTok and you scroll down, you'll see them. They have like all the text on the screen. They by far have the most views out of all my TikToks, most comments, most everything. And from each one of those, I'll get anywhere from 500 to like 1,000 new followers. Like it's crazy. And they're all like readers. They're all writers. So it's like my actual niche following. I don't know how long TikTok, I think eventually TikTok will catch it and change it. So it's a good thing to do right now, especially if you're like wanting to get started. It's all about introducing yourself. So if you go read them, it's all like, hey, if you're seeing this, you must be a writer. Or if you're seeing this, you must love fantasy, right? So it's all about introducing yourself and finding your target audience. Now, it worked really good on Instagram for a long time. I even was getting like 1,000 followers each time I posted it, but they did catch it. And now they don't do as well for me. So I got a few months out of it from Instagram, which was awesome. I got, some really new followers that have been so great and have stuck around. But yeah, Instagram figured out that like, hold on here, there's some kind of a glitch in the algorithm that people are figuring out. So, but it still works on TikTok. So I'm still going to use it while I can.
I actually still get some success with it in Instagram.
Okay.
Not 500 to 1,000 followers, but I'll still get like a few followers out of it. Probably more followers from those than I do any other reel.
And I post them on Sunday. I find Sunday people are at home scrolling. So that's like those are Sundays and Saturdays are like, that's when I save my best reels. Because I'm like, that's the most time people are online. So yeah, you'll see it every Sunday I do it. So
just like whoever didn't see this yet, here's
yeah.
But that's the thing too. I think what you mentioned too about like a trend, either it can like or TikTok can be like, okay, like this is like people are getting sick of this, so we're gonna like stop promoting these. Or a trend is like really kicking off and like you have to kind of get in on it right away. So like definitely like being a consumer, like if you want to do well on any platform, I think you have to be a consumer of that platform. So even if you aren't ready to like start posting your own stuff, but you want to create an account just to like check out the the how it works and like be a consumer of the kind of content that you want to put out there, then you can study like what is going well, how people interact, and then like once you start, it's like you kind of have to like pay attention to what trends are really like working, and then act on them pretty fast. So that it's not, because I've saved a ton of TikToks and hadn't acted on them fast, and then tried them like even like a couple weeks later, and it didn't work as well because I kind of missed like the wave. But beyond even just like recording the videos and stuff, there's also, we talked a little bit about this in the first video, about like captions and descriptions and hashtags, and like they're very differently used than on Instagram, which I kind of started treating it like Instagram when I first got on there, but they're very different. Do you guys want to share a few things about that?
Yeah, so I am still figuring out hashtags. So I've heard a creator say like once the algorithm knows who your target audience is, hashtags can sometimes hurt you because it's like you're putting too much restraints on it. And so I've tested this. Have used like I've been doing some like without hashtags and some with hashtags. And honestly, sometimes the ones that I do without hashtags have been working better, but I've been on Instagram for over 2 years. So the algorithm really knows who to send my stuff to. But even like now with TikTok, being on it since December, it knows who to send my stuff to. But I still will use hashtags occasionally, but they are different as far as what is how you use them is so like with with TikTok, it's like writer talk or book talk. So it's your key phrase, your book, and then talk at the end, or there'll be writers of TikTok, you know? And so you want to give, I've heard like you want to do kind of like two broader like hashtags and then like one really specific hashtag to your post. So I've heard that, that helps. And then also, but I have heard like with Instagram, they do a lot of hashtag bans, and it's like bands that you wouldn't even like. Boho chic is a band now, so if you use boho chic in any of your hashtags, like you'll be shadow banned. And so it's like weird, like Instagram, they won't even be like offensive hashtags that will get banned. So I'm like really scared of hashtags on Instagram because I thought I've been shadow banned before. Instagram, if you copy and paste the same hashtags every single time, it'll eventually think you're a robot and will shadow ban you. So if you are using, but Instagram's a little bit more picky. They're a little bit more, I don't know, they have more rules. So don't be copy and pasting your hashtags, be using different hashtags each time. I don't think TikTok really does that. I don't think they're really care about bots. It almost seems like TikTok can be more spammy. They have more like robots or more like, I feel like it's a lot easier to get followers on there, harder to get engagement. But yeah, with hashtags, that's my bet on hashtags. I'm still figuring out hashtags.
Yeah. I would recommend testing that out for yourself as well. Just try one reel every once in a while without hashtags and see if it does really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think because I'm like just starting out, I've definitely like been playing the hashtag game a little bit more. And I was seeing though, like I thought I had to put a bunch in my description, and then with the hashtags, just like Instagram, but one, there's not enough room.
Mm-mm.
And two, that's not really how people use it on TikTok either. I've
Mm-mm.
seen like absolutely, no words besides hashtags or a very short phrase. And then a bunch of hashtags. And so what I've been doing is like maybe like a quick short phrase that kind of builds off of what's already in the video or even responds to something that's in the video. I've seen people do that. But then using the rest of the space to like put relatable hashtags that like would relate to people that would want to see the video. And what I found is like when I was using hashtags that had like smaller amount of videos along with like a couple of hashtags that had like the really big ones like book talk and stuff, the video wouldn't do as well. But then if I put all like really big, very, highly used hashtags, then it did better. So like, again, it's kind of like an experiment, but like on Instagram, like I try to use like a mix of like really big ones and then more niche ones. And that wasn't really working for me, just for me on TikTok. So now I just use like the big ones, and that seems to work for me, at least for now. But a lot of our favorite hashtags are in that cheat sheet that you can download below. So if you haven't done that yet, definitely make sure you do, because at least right now, those are helping us.
Yeah. They're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say too is like sometimes if I have more to say that I would have put in the caption, I actually put it as a comment on my own video, sort of talking to my audience. So maybe I'll ask them a question, or I'll give a little bit more info on like, if I'm talking about my book or something. And so one, it puts like immediate engagement on my video because it's a comment. And two, if I ask a question or have a call to action, then like if people see that comment, then they have something to actually respond to in the comments. So that's just something you can play around with as well.
Yeah, like ask comments, try and get engagement. I think that's all
Mm-hmm.
that's a good idea. One other thing I wanted to bring up is thumbnails. I know I do these little blue
Mm-hmm.
over the top so that people can see at a glance what my videos are about. And I think they're helpful. Like when I'm looking at other people's accounts and I can, scroll and see like, oh, I want to watch this one because it's about, whatever I'm curious to see videos on. So that's something that you can do as well. And
Yeah.
you just put in the thumbnail and add cover.
Right. Yeah. And it like TikTok makes it so easy because they like, you're using the same kind of format over and over. So it becomes recognizable, right? There's like different like kinds that you can pick. And it's like if somebody's on your feed, then it's like they don't have to guess and like just scroll through everything. They can be like, oh, that sounds like an interesting topic. Let me watch that one or whatever. And if you go in and select the thumbnail manually, it'll like have this like, I don't know what it's called, but like this little boomerang kind of move. And so it ends up being like an active kind of thumbnail on your feed, which at first I was like, do I really need that? But I found that more people actually engage with a thumbnail if it like has some kind of like little boomerang action.
Oh.
So when you go in and select the thumbnail manually, you'll select a section and it'll just like kind of show you that it's going to do like a little 2-second move. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I could show it on mine, but like I saw like other people doing it, and I feel like those videos actually
Wow.
have more like engagement. I don't know if you can see that, but
Interesting.
yeah. Let's see. We also had some thoughts about like how do you guys like engage with your audience? Like you can ask them to engage, which we've talked about, but like what are ways you feel like you can really like kind of get more engagement on your videos?
I found like the less sales pitchy it sounds, the better. Like if it's almost like, like they get used to like if they know that you're trying to get comments and you're trying to like do yourself a favor on your video, like I feel like people don't really connect with it. So I almost like will try and like what I found works better is like I almost like give my answer and then like ask what they, what they
Mm,
think or what they, their opinion. Like in the caption, I'll be like, this is my favorite book because of this. What were your thoughts or whatever? Like I try to like not just ask for a question. I try to like answer it first and then like I'm curious about what you guys think, kind of a thing, like open it up as a discussion rather than being just leave it in the comments. I find less pitchy, less salesy is definitely better. More genuine is that's the way it is nowadays with the Gen Zers coming up. It's like you got to be more genuine and more authentic.
yes. Love
I
it.
think topics that are maybe a little bit that inspire more conversation. Like for example, I did a reel on smut. Like, will my reels or will my books have smut in it? No, and I had a lot of people comment on that. And for ADHD characters, I did a reel on ADHD characters, and I got a ton of comments on that because people found that relatable and wanted to express their own opinions or say, hey, like I have ADHD too, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like starting like a conversation with them
Mhm.
from the video, like that's the point of the video, right? And so
Yeah.
there's a account too. She's a YouTuber, author tuber on here as well. Angela Ann was talking about that in her like TikTok tips video, like creating conversation. And if you want like really good examples of that, again in the cheat sheet you can download. Her handle is in there, but she does a really good job of like thinking of creative things to ask and like topics. And I thought Karlie too what you said of like I'm going to answer it first and then ask the
Mhm.
question. I think one of her examples too was like you can even bring stuff like about your writing experience into the
Mhm.
TikTok. So like I'm struggling about what to title this book, like I have no idea, you guys, this is what it's about, what would you title this book, and
Mhm.
it's kind of inviting them into the process or into the struggle. Could be really good. Or like I think I saw someone too like being like I cannot bring myself to outline and or write in my book that I'm reading or put sticky notes or whatever. Like somebody tell me like how you do this because like I'm scared, and then like a bunch of people were commenting and be like, well, this is what I do and blah blah blah. So they can be like reader focused too.
Oh yeah, like if you invite your readers to engage with like a decision that you're trying to make, like which cover should I choose, something like that,
Yeah,
they get so excited about that.
yeah, because they feel like invested.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so like as you're getting engagement, then I would just say make sure you're responding to everyone's comments.
Mhm.
Like even if you only get a couple, like those people will
Even
be
the
like,
fake
who
ones,
responded? Yeah.
promote here, just comment and do like a heart.
Yes, yes, please do. It definitely makes a difference. And even if yeah, even if it's just a couple comments, like people will see that like, oh, this person actually responds to their comments. You can also respond to somebody's comment in a TikTok. So like you
Mhm.
go to the comment, click to respond by creating another TikTok, their question or their comment will show up on the screen and people get a huge kick out of that because they're just like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, like they didn't just respond, like they did a whole TikTok based on my comment. Like next time I see their video, I'm going to want to comment on
Mhm.
their stuff." So I've done that a couple times. And even if it doesn't do like super well, like the people who are engaging on it are like super excited about it. Um, and I had one more thing here. When and when people tag you in a video, that's another opportunity that if they haven't enabled, you can duet it and sort of put your, I'm going to try to do this without having the sound on it. But somebody like ordered my book and they were unboxing it, and I got to like do a little reaction of like, oh my gosh, they have my book and I'm so excited. And like the person who did it obviously was really flattered, and then everybody else was like, this is so cool. So that's another way that you can like really kind of reward the people that are engaging with you, and hopefully people that like that kind of stuff will see that and be like, oh, I want to comment and I want to engage because I want the chance, you know, to have a TikTok dedicated to me or them to duet mine or whatever. So
I love that idea so much.
it's fun. Okay.
You wanted to add?
Nope. Who are you talking to?
I'm looking at like the list of things that we wanted to talk about because I wanted to.
I think all we have left is just video ideas, like specific ones, which I think a lot of people were like, that's what I really want. So we have a whole list in that downloadable that you guys can get in the description, but we did want to share like a few from that list that we really, you know, have liked or ones that we're excited to try. So do you guys see any in the list that you're like, ooh, I really like this one?
Let's see here. Pull it up. There's a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot, you guys. I think one I really want to play around with that I haven't as much, but I love when other people do it, is doing like a mini reader or writer vlog. And I've seen some people, like if it's a writing vlog, they'll show just like clips. So if you don't want to show your face, you can show a clip of you typing and a clip of you, you know, with your, well, maybe you just want to show your coffee, or you can show you know, you sipping it or getting all your materials together or whatever, and having some kind of trending song in the background. And then some people have done where it's just like music and clips. And I've seen some other people do like reader or writer vlogs where they just give a little bit of an update with like a trending song in the background. And one of my friends did like a series. She was like reading through a book, and she did a series of four or five different reader vlogs where she's like, okay, I'm starting this book, I've heard it's really good, and then she'll like show a clip of her reading it and then being like, okay, well, I think I like this, but I don't like that. What do you guys think? And then like, you know, make sure to follow me to figure out, you know, what I like about like the middle section of this book or whatever. So it became this like, you know, engaging kind of thing, but also like a series she could build off of, which I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. The series I've had really good luck with too. I usually do series with like writing tips, but like I usually get a good amount of follows on those as well, because people want to follow for the part 2, right? It's a great call to action. And so I've had really good luck with the series as well. And then I like humor, and they're easy for me to make. It's like you see like the funny where you can make it like relate to writing, whether it be your characters or whatever. So I enjoy making those, and they're easy for me. And so like those have been my default, is like go for the humor, and they seem to do well. You know, it's like people like to laugh. So it's like if it's educational, it's got to be something that they've never heard before, or something that they've like really find valuable. So it can be harder to get engagement like on educational stuff. But I feel like when it's funny humor, that's like easy. People love it. If it's about you, people usually, they like to hear that. It feels genuine. It feels real to them. So anything that's like personal usually always does really good. And I haven't done too much like duets or stitches. I need to do more of that, or like replying with a TikTok to the comments. I need to do more of those. But like you have to kind of go with what your personality is. But like for me, humor and like writing tips are my go-to. That's what I've really enjoyed making. But yeah, there's a ton on here.
Yeah. I really enjoy like videos that are relatable. I think Jenna Evans Welsh does this really well. She's the author of Love and Gelato. She's one of my favorite people ever. And her reels are so authentic and real, and they're just funny. And a YA audience, especially because her audience is YA, really relates to them, and they jump all over it. Like I remember one of her reels was about her sitting in a coffee shop, and she was writing, and she overheard like some gossip over there, and she was just like listening in on what it was about, and then like they started arguing with each other or something, and then it was a really funny reel, and she got tons of comments on it because everyone was like, well, what were they talking about, you know? And teenagers just love that. So I thought that was a fantastic idea, doing something like that. Another thing that I feel like if you're trying to reach readers, depending on what you write and how you write, if you write like, for example, in my book that I just published, Empire, Glass and Stone, I have a lot of themes around like supporting other women. And so that's something that I can write about, or I can make reels on, like talking about the themes, like why I put that in my book, why that was important to me. I know if you look up Sarah Jensen, author, she used to be an alcoholic, and in her book she writes about she has a character who is a sober character who used to be an alcoholic, and she struggles with that. And that's something that she talks about a lot in her reels, in her interviews that she does, and she incorporates that into her audience, and her audience follows her for that because they love seeing that side of her, that perspective.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. I was just thinking for people too that like aren't quite ready to show their face. Another thing is you have a whole bookshelf. There's a bunch of things you can do with that. You could do a bookshelf tour. You could, if you want to connect it to your own books, you could pick like 5 books that kind of relate to your book in some way. Like, you know, five books that like have, you know, a spunky female lead, or have an enemies to lovers or whatever. And by the way, you know, that's what my book's about, you know, like having that kind of text, you know, like follow for, you know, updates on my book, you know, or if you want to show like a process of something, like some people have shown like, you know, like my process of plotting to editing my book, and they show like, you know, they're out like a quick snapshot of their outline on their screen, and then they show like their Pinterest board, and then they show like it becoming the manuscript and how many words it is, and then they show, you know, all the notes, you know, that they have now for editing. And so you can show like a process, you know, like just the different steps, and people like to see that. Or like if you're reorganizing your bookshelf, you could do like a speed reorganize, and you don't necessarily have to show your face, to show like the back of you like putting books up and stuff. So there's just like different things that you can do like with just like props.
And voiceovers too. That's like, you can do like, if you're showing your book, like you can do like really cool edits, like how they flip their books and do all these cool things. But if you're just showing a book, you can do a voiceover, so you don't have to show your face, but then at least people are hearing your voice, and you can get the information across.
Yep.
Yeah, there's tons of ways. You just have to get more creative if you don't want to show your face. But showing your face is obviously, it's going to help because people feel like they can relate better. But if you don't have to, by all means. But
Right.
And for authors that haven't been published before, there are still ways that you can show off your book even if it hasn't been published yet. Like if you're just showing like, here I am, I'm writing, here's like I just got feedback from my beta readers. There's all kinds of, you can show all through the process. And even if you haven't published it yet, people will see that you're working on it and they'll be excited about it. And then when you release it, they'll know how important it was to you, and they'll be more likely to support you for it, as opposed to if you just release it and said, hey everyone, I have a book, and nobody even knew you wrote before.
Yeah, like using your TikToks to kind of build up to it. So like sharing the things that you can share, like tropes, or like you can even some people do like aesthetic videos, so you can use Canva to put a bunch of different pictures together that like show the mood or the types of characters or the genre, and like just putting music over like a montage of like different pictures to show like, these are my, you know, what my characters would look like, or this is like what the world would be like, or the genre or whatever. So like showing like sneak peeks like that, people like will get more excited every time you share like a different aspect of the story.
Yeah. And because I was sharing this stuff like a year and a half in advance, everyone that I knew that it was important to me. And I had the most random people buy my book that like I hadn't talked to in years, but they follow me on, you know, Facebook or Instagram, and they saw that I've been posting these things, and they thought it was cool to support me. And I was amazed at how many people supported me that I never thought would.
Yeah.
This kind of, we got a question here. She was saying, what would you drive your audiences to if you have not published yet, but you're writing your books, like your call to action? So this is kind of what we were just talking about, how they were saying, like, you could talk about your book, you could talk about like the process that you're in, the aesthetics, what your kind of overall mood and stuff is for. But if your call to action is going to be, you want them to stay around, right? Because you want them to potentially buy your book once it's finished. So you want your call to action to be something that make them follow you or subscribe, depending on what platform you're on. But if you're talking about your book, if you're telling about the characters or like themes or any kind of moods or tropes that you're doing, then that's going to be something that you can talk about before it's published, and that will keep people around and build your potential reader list.
Yeah.
You want to give people value before you start just selling something to them. Because if they feel like you're all that you care about for them being here is to sell to them, they're not going to be as excited to support you.
Yeah, definitely. And there's something that I've done too is like offer like even more exclusives about my book through my website. Like if you sign up for my newsletter, you get, you know, X. And even like I've done that for writers a lot too. And speaking of, one of the download that we're talking about today too is something that like if you sign up for the newsletter, you get it. So but I think that if you can if one of your call to actions is to invite them to sign up for something like a newsletter where you can engage with people who are like not just a passerby, but someone who wants, like in my email, tell me when this book is out, then that can be your call to action too. Like sign up to my newsletter to get like monthly updates on like how the editing process is going, or, you know, I'm looking to publish in 3 months. So like, you know, join the newsletter so you don't miss out when it's gonna, you know, happen. So that's something too, that if you're like, what am I driving them to? You know, obviously, like we've said, it's like you want them to stick around on your account. But like having like that newsletter is something that you own, and is not something that like another social media platform can, like they can disappear, or they can like change their algorithm, and it can be great 1 minute and like be not so great the next. So that's just one thing that I started to do early on. And now I have like almost 5,000 subscribers to my newsletter. So every time I talk about my book or something, it's like, you know, certain percentage of those people are actually going to check it out, which is so fun.
And those are going to be your most excited, your most active followers too. The people that want to subscribe to your email, the people that are willing to give you their email. That's going to be your primary place where you sell to people.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet.
Cool.
Well, hopefully those ideas were really helpful to you guys, but don't forget to get the rest of them down below.
Yes, there's so many in there that we didn't even talk about. Yes, there's so many ideas. I'm like, oh, it's like a whole list.
There's a whole list, and that will be in the downloadable PDF. One thing that I was going to mention when I spaced, because I couldn't remember what it was I was going to say, but if you were not on the previous video, make sure you go to Brittany Wang's channel and watch the part 1.
Yes.
Where we talk about why you would want a TikTok, and we also give some tips and some more valuable experiences into why we started our TikToks and how it's been useful to us.
Very, very good point. Yes. You want them both. There's such good info in there.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other questions before we close out?
Let's see if we missed anything. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and you're just like taking tons of notes. I saw Megan was saying that she loved the actionable tips, and thanks for putting them in the comments for reference. Brooke and I put a couple of them of like, just in case you missed it, here's some stuff that we thought was helpful. And definitely follow us. I believe all of our TikTok links and stuff are down below. So if you want to get like a ton of inspiration, like once that, like I was following like Karlie and Brooke and like seeing what videos they were creating, it like inspired me to do other ones. So definitely, you know, connecting with other people that are already on TikTok and kind of watching what they're doing and supporting them. If you guys are already on TikTok and you haven't already put your username in the comments, we would love to go check out your TikToks as well. So. Yeah.
And also too, I feel like most people on TikTok, like it's okay to recreate, right? That's like what they do, is there's a trend, and so you can recreate. And so like if you want to go on there, if there's something that you like and you're like, oh, like this is something I could do, like if you copy any of mine, I do not care. Like it is all up there for grabs. So yeah, if there's anything on there, like even like the words on the screen, if you're like, oh, like that sounds like a good call to action or whatever, like you can copy it, you know, I'm not weird about that. But I feel like most people on TikTok, they're used to people borrowing and using inspo and putting their own twist on it, because that's kind of what TikTok is you take a trending song or a trending dance and then you put your own niche and twist on it. So don't worry about having to think of totally original stuff. You can recreate other people's stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely make it your own. Make it something personal to you. Your own brand.
Cool. Tanya is thanking us. You're so welcome. Ooh.
Yes, thank you for all your tips. I do the journey. Figuring out my dream makes it so nice and normal. Yay.
Yes. Totally normal.
Yes, totally. Yes. A lot of thank yous.
You're welcome, Megan.
And I saw this too. You didn't know that about the original sounds. I only just kind of figured that out too. So I told Brooke and she didn't know that either. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't, Instagram doesn't automatically change it over.
Huh.
So good to know. Awesome.
Well, cool. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you like this video and subscribe to Brittany's channel as well. And we're all excited to meet you and to see some more of you on TikTok.
Yep.
For tuning in.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.